Hey, it's Chris from Poseidon doing a review on the F1 7Cs V2 foil, which has come out fairly recently as a replacement to their version 1 7Cs. Basically pitched as an easygoing, comfortable, bottom end focused, versatile foil, which is absolutely bang on, and been really impressed with this and spending some time on it, and spent time on it prone and winging to see what it's all about. And versatility is probably the key word to use with this foil. It's an interesting one in their lineup, and the version 1 never really took off in our scene. I think people coming into the F1 system very much looked at either the Phantom or the Gravity, which is a lot deeper for their low-end performance, and it lifts up really, really well. Or they were looking at the Skates and the Eagles for that top-end performance. And sometimes the 7Cs was kind of lost in sort of uncertainty what it was for in the middle. They've redesigned it in this version 2 where they've slimmed the profile out, and so they've made it quite a lot faster than the first version. And it really notices when you're riding it in its speed range. That's a real standout feature for me when you're riding this, is how comfortable it is in its bottom end and how easy and progressive and early this foil gets up and going, and how kind of sure-footed it is when it's in its bottom end. But when you pick up speed and you're blasting on faster and you're in its top end, it still handles it relatively well. For such a big foil, it doesn't try and overlift all of a sudden, and you can really adjust your weight and counteract and feel comfortable on it. It only comes in bigger sizes, so they do an 1100, a 13 and a 1500. So this is clearly for somebody who's looking for lift to get them up and going. So whether you're an entry-level rider or whether you're downwinding and you just want loads of power to keep you up and going, that's clearly what this is designed for. But even though it's a big foil and a relatively low aspect ratio foil, it sits at 8, so it's not low, but it's kind of mid to low, I guess, nowadays. It still rolls really well. It's got a lot of shape in its down, in its dihedral downturn there, and it rolls really easy. Really comfortable to push it through a turn. It doesn't lock out at all, and it's just fun to use. It's definitely not a high-performance foil, and I think somebody that's looking for high performance is obviously going to switch over to their faster foils, the Eagle X, or the Skate, or the Escapes even. But if you're looking for something to get you up and going, where this excels for me is if you're coming into winging. If you don't have other previous experience, you're probably still going to be looking at the Phantom or the Gravity for its deeper, better lower end, compromising that top end speed. But if you've got some skills in wind sports, you could go straight into this and know you're not going to grow out of it. If you started on the Gravity, it's going to be your next step down foil for something a little bit more spicy, gaining a bit more top end speed, so that you know when you're buying this foil, although it's going to get you up and going very easy, you're not going to grow out of it anytime quickly. It doubles really well as a prone foil, just because of its versatility, and its real good speed range means you can get it up and going really good. It pumps incredibly sure-footed, and it's got such a good low end. Even if you mess up your pump, you can stamp on the back foot and it will really rise back up again and pump very, very well. And that speed range means that whether you're going slowly trying to pump it, or whether actually you've set up and you're taking a bit of a drop on the wave, it doesn't really do anything unpredictable. So very, very versatile, very user-friendly, going to be very good for the downwind scene for people looking for that low end, but still some carry to connect the bumps together. Very much not a performance foil, but something which I think everybody can really appreciate as an entry-level foil, an intermediate foil, which is still fun to ride in kind of average or poor conditions. It's a full carbon construction, which they recommend with this monoblock downwind 170 tail is the stock setting which it comes with. I think, having tried a bunch of different tails, this is the most efficient setup, which they recommend buying it with the 170. If you're looking for a little bit more speed, then you're probably going to want to shrink this down. The 145 downwind tail, just going to liven it up a little bit in its top end speed. And I've really noticed that if you put it on the carve tail, it really loosens up its roll even more. So personally, I think as a starting out point, if you're looking for entry level ease, you'd go for the stock setting. If you're looking to loosen it up and actually you're looking for this for your poor condition sort of foil, those smaller tails, the 160 or the 161 or the 140 and the 141 in the carve range, if you want it loose, or the smaller, the 145 works really well. So definitely worth checking out. Kind of something for everybody, whether you're wing, prone or downwind. If you're looking for low-end performance, but something that's still really versatile, this is the F1 7Cs V2. Give us a shout if you want more info, if you want to try one out or get your own. I'm Chris at Poseidon-watersports.com.